I'm going to run you through my list right now. Top 5 number 9s in MLS. And yes, at the top, you got to go with Joseph Martinez. That's right. Obvious choice. He is just a killer. I think, coming back from an ACL is difficult. It's something that a lot of players have been through, myself included. I think, you start to feel like it's going to come back slowly. You're going to be a little hesitant at first. You have that trust, that rhythm. Throw that out the window. Joseph is not that type of player. That's not how he plays. And I actually think this first game against Orlando is super interesting because from a mentality perspective, he's going to be so dialed in for that match. And I think it can help him sort of get off to the right track on a season and really push forward. So I think very clearly, I think we'll see him go back to being the best number 9 in the league and really the best number 9 we've ever seen in this league. There you go. Number 2, I've got Ruud Diaz. I think he had 12 goals last year in 17 matches. Strange year, of course, but he's had double-digit goals, I think, in every season since he's come to MLS. His postseason record is sort of, in another planet. Pretty insane when you look at his numbers. And then, he can do it in behind. He can do it on the soft spot, on top of the box. He can do it with both feet, with his head. And similar to Joseph, he has that sort of relentless mentality. He's just lethal. I know no Jordan Morris, but I think more of the load will fall on Ruud Diaz, and I think he'll be ready to handle that. Third on my list, Gyasi Zardes. Look, American makes the top 3 of the list. I think that's a positive. Consistency, playing for the best team in MLS. I think some people, the knock might say, okay, BWP, does he come in and maybe steal a couple goals here and there? I actually think BWP will make Gyasi a better player in a lot of ways. I think having someone to push him from behind is always good for a number 9, as well as picking up some of the little trade craft and ways of the veteran who's one of the best to ever do it as a number 9 in MLS. So I got Zardes as my number 3. Should we pause or should I keep rolling?
No, I like it. Keep going.
Same top 3, Calen. Yeah. So good
job.
Keep
going.
Okay.
I had one difference in the top 3, but keep going.
Okay.
No. Now we have a difference. So now I'm interested.
I wouldn't have had Gyasi 3rd. I have Beric over Gyasi. So I think Beric is just a little bit more multidimensional in terms of his link-up play and ability to bring his team upfield by being an outlet. Whereas Gyasi, he's much better at that than people give him credit for, but it's like he's not close to Beric.
But the thing Gyasi has, which may be unfair to Beric because he hasn't been in this league, is reliability and minutes, right? Gyasi's going to start all of every year. He's going to score goals. There's a guarantee with him, and especially because of what he needs to do for his team, which is different than Beric, which I think for me, going into this season, keeps Gyasi ahead of Beric by a little bit.
That's fair.
I like it. Number 4.
I'm just jotting down names that I'm wondering if you're going to not include just to prepare myself. So I'm very interested in these final 2 because there's a lot of names floating around. Give it to me. Number 4.
This one might be a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't sure because we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm going with Polito as number 4 for me. He had just 6 goals, I think, last year in 11 starts, but it was a very stop-start season for him. Like everybody but injuries and absences and all that, but the quality is there. And the other thing that really sort of knocked him up on my list was he did have 5 assists as well. And so I think he showed a much more well-rounded game than I even expected or knew about before he came into Major League Soccer, where he's not just a guy in the box, a fox in the box is going to get in there, score with his head. He really can, dummy the ball. He can spin and turn. He can facilitate. He can find the wingers. And I think we only saw a little bit of him. So I wouldn't be shocked to see him in the top 3 for Golden Boot if he has a healthy, productive season. So Polito, I think, maybe based on high ceiling, I put number 4. And then 5 to appease Matthew Doyle, Beric, and just, also for my own list, of course, he had 12 goals last year. I think he had over a third of the goals for the Fire, which is maybe more of the percentage than maybe the Fire would want. They need to find some other outlets that can get goals for them and contribute because too much fell on Beric's shoulders, but he does have that quality. I also like his game where he can kind of stretch the field and get him behind a little bit. He makes good runs, times his runs well. He's sort of he's pretty smooth on the ball. He can kind of turn you around. He's got a quick trigger, and I like Beric a lot. And I think if the Fire can actually sort of solidify things around him, we actually may see a little bit more out of him. So those are my top 5.
Yeah.
like
Let's go,
this.
Calen.
It's
I
a
like the
tough
list.
one.
It
We
is.
did the exact same list, man for man. So Calen's my hero, and I'm done.
Wow.
Does Polito's lack of box danger bother anybody? Because that was the knock on him with Chivas. It was something he wasn't great at last year for Kansas City, and granted, it was a start season. He's phenomenal dropping off and linking play and setting things up, but like he has never been, and you even kind of said it in your analysis, Calen, he's not just a fox in the box. Like he's not at all a fox in the box. He doesn't score those Chris Wondolowski goals.
Yeah, he more falls under the. I think he enjoys dropping back deep more, as we were talking about how a false 9 would play. Even though he looks the part of a number 9, he does like to drop off a little bit more and facilitate. But there were some goals in the box last year that I saw where I think he can do it. And if you got Peter Vermees yelling at you from the sideline as well, you get in there. I think there's still a lot more to see from him. That's why I was kind of like scared and excited for this season for him, because I think there's a lot more for him to give.
I agree. I think he could be best 11. Now,
Yeah,
that'd be hard
agree.
given this list, but can be and will be are very, very different. Some names that were not here that I just want to throw out because people are probably thinking him. And it's obvious. Gonzalo Higuain has not done it in MLS yet, unless you're counting posts as goals, which we're not. He's not done it. So he could do it. He could do it and push his way into this list. Lucas Cavallini's not in this list, but I think he'll have a big bounce up. I wouldn't have put him in the list. And Josie Altidore is, for me, the biggest sort of question mark among center forwards in MLS this year. Like, if he is healthy and really about it, he certainly can and should be probably top 3 because his performances will back it up, but we haven't seen that for a little while now. Certainly not with any sort of consistency.
I thought this was an FC Cincinnati podcast. We're not even going to mention Brenner.
Yeah. He was kind of the unknown sleeper pick to get in there, but there's just too much quality there. And I think you're starting to see a little bit getting to 9s and how teams are investing or not investing in 9s, where you're seeing kind of these dual roles where it's Shabilko and Santos kind of trading off, or you're seeing even the way LAFC used Musovski and BWP, just finding a little more value at the 9 position and then spending more money on the wings. Even I think I had like Gustavo Bo, who's like not really a 9, or Buxa is not really a 9, but kind of play that way at times. But having more of a stable of number 9s, I'm seeing more teams go for. But because I'm not sure if that number 9 thing, maybe outside of Zardes, if any of those teams may be in for the Supporters Shield. So
I would say the 2 names that didn't get mentioned, Chicharito, obviously, and what he can do, and then Eber. If he's healthy, we know what he's been for NYCFC. Calen mentions it's a different style with him, but when he's healthy and when he's on, he changes that team and he's in that conversation for most effective at that position, similar to what Polito does.